Have you ever wondered what lay behind the fearsome reputation of ancient Sparta? What unspeakable horrors awaited those who dared defy Spartan authority? How did the Helot slaves endure unimaginable suffering under their merciless rule? Prepare to be shocked as we unravel the chilling tales of the worst punishments ever inflicted by the mighty Spartans. Debunking the Spartan myth. They weren't 300 saviors who saved ancient Greece. The legend of King Leonidas I and his 300 warriors holding off 2.8 million Persian soldiers is a fantastic tale, but far from reality. While the Persian army did outnumber the Spartan defenders, the gap was not astronomical. The Spartan defense consisted of 6,000 to 7,000 soldiers, including various Greek citizens, against a Persian force of around 250,000. The narrow passage of Thermopylae worked in favor of the Spartans, limiting the Persian deployment. But before we talk about that, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Most of the Persian army comprised non-professional soldiers, while the Spartan warriors were well-trained and equipped with hoplite armor. Leonidas and his phalanx formation stood firm, protecting each other with their shields. Despite their bravery, treachery ultimately turned the tide. Ephialtes, a Greek informant, revealed a secret path to Xerxes, enabling the ambush of Leonidas and his warriors. The Greeks suffered losses, but the Persians were significantly depleted. In the end, the sacrifice of the Spartans couldn't halt the Persian advance. The truth dispels the myth, showcasing a remarkable defense, but not the miraculous tale of 300 saving the day. The Spartans chose to embrace a life filled with hardships right from their first breath. They challenged death from the moment they were born, transforming themselves into unbeatable warriors. Only the strongest, healthiest, and most beautiful babies would survive the tough tests set by the elders, while the weak ones met their fate on Mount Taygeto or in deep ravines. Those who passed this challenge were returned to their parents, but their upbringing was far from easy. For 7 long years, they faced a relentless and harsh training that allowed no mercy. They abandoned diapers to fuel their growth, and any signs of rebellion were crushed with unwavering discipline. Fear had no place in their hearts as they confronted darkness and solitude head-on. Then, when the government took charge of their education, the true test began, the famous agoge. In this phase, the strictness of their parents paled in comparison to the brutal training that awaited them. Stripped of their clothes, their heads shaved, and their bodies exposed to the biting cold, they embarked on a path of unmatched resilience. Showing their unwavering determination, the Spartan warriors stood strong, wearing only their courage. Covered in dirt and without clothes, as they rarely had the luxury of bathing, they focused on learning the basics of reading and writing just enough to sing songs that echoed during their relentless marches. But their main priority was building their physical strength. They worked hard, carrying out combat and athletic exercises, becoming skilled in handling weapons and obeying their superiors without question. Their way of speaking, known as laconismo, was direct and powerful, reflecting the spirit of their land. Hunger was a constant problem, and the young warriors had to survive on very little food, often resorting to stealing to find nourishment. The secret act of stealing was actually part of their training, teaching them how to acquire food without being seen. If they were caught, the punishment was severe, not for stealing itself, but for being caught in the act. Their weakness and vulnerabilities were met with harsh consequences. Even a small mistake could result in beatings. In the wilderness, they would be tied to a wooden stake and endure the sting of bamboo whips delivered by their fellow warriors, all in the name of testing their resilience. Forged through enduring relentless punishment, their bodies bore the scars of countless blows that seemed to last forever. If a young warrior couldn't bear the agony, his comrades would lift him up, providing unwavering support while the torment continued. It wasn't just their fellow warriors who disciplined them. Any older person with a purpose felt it necessary to shape their character through physical reprimands. To strengthen their determination, the young Spartans were made to witness the debauchery of drunken slaves, serving as a reminder of what they should never become. They also witnessed executions and in some cases were even made to be executioners themselves. In this crucible of experiences, those who emerged from the rigorous agoge training transformed into almost emotionless beings, devoid of their humanity. When they reached their 20s and were assigned to different military units, their long, carefully groomed hair adorned their heads, symbolizing their status as Spartan citizens and bringing a sense of joy and celebration. They became legendary figures, the most feared warriors in all of Greece, perhaps the greatest fighters of ancient times. Their successes were built on unity, for as Plutarch declared, their lives were interconnected, united for the greater good of their society. In Sparta, marriage was seen as a practical arrangement, a means to produce future warriors. Love played a minor role in their lives, giving way to calculated alliances meticulously orchestrated by fathers and elder brothers. They scrutinized potential suitors and negotiated the terms of these unions. While awaiting their betrothal, Spartan women received an education within the confines of their homes, following a curriculum not so different from that of their male counterparts. Unlike women in other parts of Greece, they were not limited to domestic skills like weaving and cleaning. Their training focused on developing strong bodies, destined to give birth to even stronger men. Wrestling, sprinting, long-distance running, horseback riding, discus, and javelin throwing, these were the sports that shaped them. However, amidst their rigorous training, future mothers also learned the arts of music, dance, and poetry, preserving their femininity. The intense dedication continued until they reached the age of 18, when their thoughts turned towards finding a husband. The women of Sparta enjoyed a reputation as the true masters of their men, possessing rights and responsibilities unheard of in their time. Their male counterparts not only respected their opinions, but revered them. They were entrusted with matters of finance, agriculture, and the efficient management of households, wielding their influence with skill and authority. Spartan women, as the heads of their households, commanded with unwavering authority as their husbands often fought in distant battles. They participated in sacred rituals, praying to the gods for victories in war and abundant harvests, as their divine duty was connected to fertility. In pursuit of this duty, wives took pride in spending nights with men who surpassed their husbands, solely for the purpose of giving birth to the strongest warriors. This was a source of pride for all Spartans, as they nurtured robust sons and even shared their wives with fellow comrades. The pleasure found its place in unconventional realms. Within the embrace of Spartan society, relationships transcended traditional gender boundaries, with both men and women forming connections free from societal judgment. Homosexuality was not frowned upon, as such encounters blossomed regularly within close-knit circles of comrades. Their independence and autonomy empowered them to raise children with strong individuality, reflecting their own indomitable spirit and filling them with immense pride. They celebrated bravery and despised cowardice, echoing the belief to return from battle with their shield or upon it. Legend tells of Gorgo, the wife of Leonidas, who was questioned about the dominance of Spartan women over their men. Her response resounds through time, "For we alone give birth to true men." Gender equality fortified Sparta, making it a symbol of strength and governance. However, dissenting voices like Aristotle's argue that this very influence and independence contributed to its eventual downfall. In the rich history of ancient civilizations, slavery was an undeniable part of Greece, and among these powerful empires, it was the labor, sacrifices, and unwavering resilience of the Helot slaves that truly propelled them to greatness. Carrying heavy burdens, they worked as servants and were even sent into battles as expendable soldiers. Imagine this: 35,000 Helot slaves armed with light weapons tipped the scales in the Battle of Plataea, securing a resounding victory over the Persians in 479 BC. These unsung heroes changed the course of history. While slavery was common, Sparta had a distinct approach. Enter the Ilotas, a unique group whose origins are shrouded in mystery. These peasants, conquered by Sparta, played an indispensable role. They formed the backbone of agriculture, cultivating the very crops that fed the Spartan people. Unlike other slaves, they owned their lands, their sanctuary of freedom. But their apparent autonomy was deceptive. At the end of each harvest, a significant portion was demanded, often around 50%, leaving the rest for their own sustenance. It resembled the medieval concept of tribute paid to a lord, but with a harsh twist. Political rights were absent. Spartans could unleash terror upon them, beating, torturing, violating, or even killing them without cause or consequence. Yet amidst the darkness, a faint glimmer of hope persisted. The Ilotas were allowed to marry and have children, outnumbering the Spartan citizens in staggering proportions, 7 Ilotas for every Spartan. The stage was set for rebellion, and fear gripped the hearts of the Spartans. To suppress their restless subjects, they deployed the Cryptia, an elite group of young warriors aged 18 to 20 who were masters of random punishment, ensuring the slaves remained in chains. Nevertheless, the spirit of defiance burned within them. Revolts erupted, although brief, as they were crushed under the might of the Spartans. But fate smiled upon the Ilotas after the earthquake of 464 BC. A brave group of slaves seized the opportunity, breaking free and defying the odds. They held out for years until the day they were granted freedom, emancipated to build new lives as liberated individuals in Naupactus. With that said, thank you for watching. Stay tuned for more, and if you found this content helpful, give the video a like. See you in the next video. Till then, take care.